Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? Yes, a couple of minutes late, but that's just the way it works sometimes. And so I just want to speak favor over all the audience. Welcome, Soul Tribe, Bosto. For our guest, Bosto means be of service to others.
Oh,
And
Very
so
cool.
kind of our moniker amongst what we call the Soul Tribe. So, welcome everybody. High five. So good to see you. And obviously, we have special guest here, and I don't want to waste any more time other than saying, welcome everyone in the chat room. Thank you, moderators. Y'all are beautiful people. And so I have two beautiful people right here, a lovely couple I've gotten to know pretty well over the last month. And I have found them to be just a delight, like-minded, spiritually minded. And, when you find brothers and sisters along the path, you're going to gravitate towards them. And so welcome, April and Jay. How are y'all?
thank you so
Hello.
much. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Yeah,
We're like
really
super
nice
excited
to
to
be
be
here with
here.
you.
I tell you, I really dug the first two times we got together. And the backdrop is, we discussed about the birth certificates, and that was a lively conversation. Goes to
It
show
sure
you
was.
how much of a slave mentality we really have.
Yeah.
Our
Yes.
commerce system is built upon that. Anyway, we did one on Tuesday, I believe it was yesterday,
hmm
and enjoyed that one. I mean, really did. And so,
Yeah,
Likewise.
that's always so
It'll
great to
be
have you
out
on.
tomorrow, actually,
oh, are you
in
okay?
Yeah,
editing.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, remember all opinions expressed are, just opinions. So, uh,
Exactly.
spiritually raw.
Don't shoot the
So,
messengers.
listen, I'm driving the bus,
Yeah.
so you can't really hurt the bus driver because then everybody else is really in a hurt. So, but uh, I want to know what is spiritually raw and how did y'all's journey, because it's always one that I enjoy listening, is to how did you arrive to where you are today, and how did that that progress go? Was it quickly? Was it over extended period of time? Y'all have the microphone.
I want me to just get it started and you can finish it off. Actually, our background is financial services, where we had an insurance agency and a mortgage lending company. And we did it for 10 years. It was really successful. We had a big agency and we caught like the last year and a half of the mortgage wave. So that was a great ride. And then you woke up one day and that ride was over, and it was over really fast. And
Like
just
that.
like that, just like that. And but the timing actually was good because we were really burnt out anyway, and we needed a change. And it just we were at that point and ready. And Jay said, "Do you want to sell the business?" And I said yes. And it was also a property. So we had a mortgage agency, a property casualty, and also financial services. So it was like 10 years of a lot of clients. And he said,
That's a
"Well, I'm
lot
gonna."
of work. I mean,
Oh
people
A lot
don't
of
yeah.
work.
realize it. There, financial services is one of the most competitive.
Yes.
My background is that I worked in the internet and software. So I went around to VC conferences and I presented at investor conferences. So y'all would be the type of couple that we would have invited and said, come in here. Let's tell you about the internet.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Well, that's kind of what
Yeah.
happened. Is like we had a whole office full of admins just supporting, this process going on there. But
I
you
bet.
know, we
Yeah.
always Wayne had a very, just very intriguing right from the beginning. Always had an extreme, curiosity about the mystical, the magical, the
Our
unknown.
office did not look like a traditional insurance agency
No,
at
it would
all.
have pictures
It looked
of
more like an ashram.
Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, or a Chinese goddess. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, like
I
lucky
love
bambu
this.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It was like
This
Every
is
that.
desk had lucky
Hellenism.
bamboo.
Yeah, yeah. So we did it like that. We're like, hey, you know
Now,
what?
have
Let's
y'all
let's.
always been spiritually inclined? I mean,
Yeah,
did you
Yeah.
find
yeah,
yourself as a couple on the same path?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We
That was
did.
the attraction.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
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 So we actually met at an insurance convention in Texas.
Yeah.
mutually. And that's, then from there we started out as, so the interesting part about it is we started out as business associates first, and, then just evolved into a personal relationship, got our companies together, and then really realized, so when we were doing our business, we weren't on the internet. There was no internet that was really prevalent. Everything was just, writing everything down,
I remember that.
And so
I had a Rolodex, my golden Rolodex.
Right.
Rolodex,
We saw one too. So we were still at the stage of our careers where it's like we had to still understand that world. And again, we wanted to explore the spiritual side of ourselves. So we sold it, figured out, okay, let's figure out what we can do on the internet. We got to figure something out. Okay. And let's look at that world and try to work there. And then, so
it was like so foreign to us though.
So foreign to us.
The only software we had ever dealt with was an insurance software. It was like one program.
Like that. Peck and play kind of
Were
thing.
you using floppy disk?
Yeah.
Yes, they were floppy disks.
See, there you go. Yep.
We didn't have a use for it for what we were doing, because everything was just a program you downloaded, or they gave us a disc, like you said, and boom, you're in business, and that's all you know. But we did that, and again, just on our quest for just the learning things, we decided, because we're always having conversations with everybody, always spiritual conversations, right? And so someone said, April's cousin, I think Jeff, was like, why don't you guys put a camera on you? Someone should record you. And so we tested it out and say, let's do that. And then, we said, let's come up with a name.
Crazy.
We thought it was crazy. So we came up with the name Spiritually Raw, and then, really went with it without really like, what's it going to lead into kind of thing. We weren't really there yet with it, but we went with it. And lo and behold, the show Spiritually Raw was born about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then it was really very innovative for the time. And it was busy. We did it for the first 18 months. The amount of people we interviewed was insane. We were interviewing like 15 people a week. We interviewed 1,200 people in 18 months.
Whoa, that's a marathon.
It was a marathon.
It's a marathon.
We had like 150 shows. I mean, it was just crazy. And then people were asking us, well, how did you do it? How are you making money? How are you able to build this up so fast and profit from it? And we were giving away all this information constantly. And then one day we woke up and realized we can turn that into a business.
Yeah.
And we did. So we turned it into a consulting business. And then the consulting business got so busy that we no longer were able to do both because it just wasn't enough time. So we put the show on hold until March of 1 year ago this month, actually. And then we relaunched it a year ago this month.
On video. So before we were on radio, we did some video stuff, but it was pre-recorded on like our own website, but really
it wasn't on social media.
It wasn't on social media.
We didn't even know how to do social media then.
So only March of last year is really this is our rodeo, if you would, on the social media platforms, as far as putting it out there that way. So, yeah.
And you're on a number of different platforms besides this YouTube, right?
Yeah. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
You also have another one, the Super Channel, right?
Yeah. So the super channels are they're as a result of the censorship, Wayne. So
what censorship?
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Yeah, what censorship?
Who talks about that anymore?
Nothing to see here. Go on.
We just decided, hey, you know what? Let's just get the messengers together. Let's just, because we're all trying to fight and say, everybody's saying, well, this is my backup channel. This is my backup channel. Let's just create the ultimate backup channel, for lack of a better term, right? And so let's get the messengers under one umbrella. Everybody starts to tell people about where they're going to be. The subscriber base grows a lot faster just because law of large numbers there, right? And so then what happens is that everybody starts to just, wherever they're at, they start to upload a video. Every amount of those subscribers are notified. So regardless of who they are, or how long they've been in the business. So we started our first one on that in, I believe it was November 2020, just a few months ago now. And then we spun off another one because it started to get more demand. And now we're actually breaking ground, which people will start seeing in April. I believe right now, four or five more. Yeah, that are ready to go, ready to break out.
Yeah, no, we already have 5.
Yeah, they're just different themes that,
Now, are you promoting them against all the platforms? I know you're
primarily right now we're promoting them on YouTube.
Yeah, that's where the audience is at.
UGE2 because there's no censorship.
Yeah.
But the other reason we the super channels were Jay's brainstorm.
I love the
And
idea.
thank you. And the concept also behind not only to help with the censoring as extra support, backup channels, it really was to help motivate people to start speaking. And especially for people that, there's so many people, Wayne, that have a great message, but they're afraid of social media, or they don't know where to start, or they think, geez, it's going to take me a lifetime to start a YouTube channel. And normally it does. So, so it's a great platform for people that have the message, but don't have all the time and the experience in building up the channel. So you literally, it's like a business in a box.
That you get there right away. And the support system.
Yeah, we support everybody.
Yeah, the support system
so
is really
we can
strong.
take somebody that maybe never even had a show before. We can take somebody with absolutely no experience, but has a great message, and they want to get it out to the world, and they want to start speaking their truth, and they want to help raise the vibration of the planet. And the more that we get all these people out and start talking, the more we're going to raise the vibration of the planet quicker. So
I like your daily motivationals early in the morning. I know you have a number of different people who have a short motivational message, Lucky Stone, you ought to get in touch with these folks. I mean, all of y'all should. This is a great opportunity. So I know this is a new audience on this side, which, there's no doubt there's cross-pollination, but it's a great opportunity to expand that message out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that, and we've talked about this on our several times together on the show, Wayne, is that just the absolute crisis, that the critical times that we're going through right now, it is so imperative for people to have a plan B, C, or D at this point in time, right? So we've been pretty instrumental, and really our vision with this is to help people set up their own businesses. And listen, numbers don't lie, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Being in social media and business is probably the best place to be right now, and that's the thing. So we're helping people set up their internet-based businesses. They're getting their podcasts out there, whatever. They can talk about their, you have authors, you have consultants that are coming on.
Chefs,
you have chefs,
musicians,
and it's just a great way for them to start. And then, we help support
consultants,
them along the way.
coaches.
I think to put this in perspective, I come from the video industry. I won an Emmy.
Awesome.
But what we have here is really the next evolution of what we would call the infomercial.
Yeah.
And those cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, could be into the millions, depending on your campaign, your demographic market. But this is tremendous because you are the product.
I am so glad you said that, Wayne, because when I finish my book, I'm going to send it to you.
All right.
I have a chapter in it that you are the product. That's the title of the chapter.
See?
You are the product. Yes. And a lot of people, that's sometimes that's hard for a lot of people to digest. They're like, well, I don't, what am I going to sell? And what am I going to do? And what am I going to talk about? Your experiences. You are the product.
You are.
Yeah.
People don't understand their experiences are the uniqueness of what your personality is.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
We're teaching people we're practicing with people. Okay, so tell us your opening, give us what your theory is about. Let's see how you open your show. Let's see how you close out your show. I mean, we're practicing with them at that intricate of a level.
We have training twice a week.
Yeah, we have training twice a week for them. They pitch us their ideas. They want to send communication to their people. They'll email us and say, does this sound okay? We're like, no, tweak this. We really help them get positioned so they can start to experience success.
Mm-hmm.
Our belief, as you know, is we just got to collectively, consciously get together, and everybody rises.
Everybody's going to win. Mm-hmm.
Jenny, you ought to talk to these people too. Jennifer Roberts is just a tremendous. We have so many very talented people, very enlightened people. The term woke has been stolen, So now I'm just going to go back to enlighten, because they are.
Actually, you know what, Wayne, I like that a hell of a lot better because it's more appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead. Huh?
No, I apologize. But you're so right about the word woke.
Yeah.
I think it's been hijacked.
It's like spirituality, which gets me to the next point. I love the about you on your channel. So spiritual raw, so sometimes when people come out of doctrines and belief systems and they're searching for something, I identify with the term raw because spiritually we're so insulated.
Mm-hmm.
And once that is broken down, it can get real tough where the truth is concerned or pathways to the truth.
Exactly.
That's so true.
And then you have so many people too that everyone's truth is their own truth.
Yes.
What might be my truth is my truth. It might be different from your truth. So everybody's truth is, but the one thing, don't be jamming your truth down my throat.
The synchronicities that happen because, we are in, physically, spiritually, we are now in different realms. And
Mm-hmm.
so we didn't talk before, but I was actually addressing in an email, and I said exactly that. I said, the only truth is that there is no truth, but only your truth. Everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah. If someone is saying, well, this is truth, you're trying to sell me something. You're trying to sell me
So
Exactly.
true.
Yeah.
And that's what we do with the show. It's like,
Mhm.
that's what we want to learn is we want to find out, well, what is your truth? What's your life like on this planet Earth that we're in? And hopefully we all get some, we take what we want and we throw the rest away. Right.
Mhm.
And so that's what we're doing is really getting everybody's sprinkle of truth that they bring in there. Because there is some truth to it because it's theirs.
Exactly. And the whole reason that we started the show was really for our own selfish reasons.
Yeah.
Because Jay and I had so many unanswered questions. We've had tremendous spiritual experiences and we continue to have them. But with that comes, well, why is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
And we've also, we've been through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the very ugly. So why did that also happen? Where did that come from?
Where's
the playbook for that one?
What did Churchill say? If you're going through hell, don't stop.
Right.
Keep on going.
Keep going.
Get the hell out of here.
Well said. Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't stop. That's funny.
And even to this day, that's why we have people like you on, experts, because we have so many questions. When we met, what did I say to you? I have been searching for the longest time for someone to talk to us about birth certificates, and no one would come to the forefront. About it.
Yeah, we really are on the search like everybody else.
And I said to Jay, I'll never forget. I'm like, oh my God.
I know, she was so excited, Wayne.
Someone's going to come on.
She's like, I'm just, just administratively
I'm
doing
so
my stuff.
happy.
They're like, look, you got to see this. That Wayne's coming on. I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, he's like, whatever.
April does all the bookings and everything. Oh my gosh.
It's what makes the journey richer. I mean,
it does.
I sense intuitively that the two of you have had and I'll just express this, when you go through financial hard times, when you really begin to look and it's only you and you, the two of you, you begin to find out what is really in here.
Mm-hmm.
And that will always test your beliefs. And yeah, unfortunately, many people find out their beliefs and reality sometimes don't mix. And then that's where you have, the separation.
Mm-hmm.
People get lost.
Yeah, people do get lost.
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when I'm interested on what you have found in your journey, because interviewing 1,400 people, that is by the way, phenomenal task. Lovely, because you have to be dedicated. There has to be a tenacity of intent, serious intent. What did you find? Could you say that you found any summations of the 1,400, or were they all fractals, all fragments of a picture?
That's a great question. From my point of view, I don't know how Jay's going to, how he feels, but they've been fragments. Every interview we do, every single solitary interview we do, we learn something new and we hear something new. And it's like the best learning, it's the best therapy, it's the best training, it's the best of everything. We're so really blessed to be able to do what we're doing because we're in school every day. Yeah, but we're like in a metaphysical school or whatever you want, spiritual school.
Yeah.
And an evolutionary school.
We have a vision here of actually when this whole thing gets cleared up, we're actually going to start our own mystery school.
A mystery. That's what I was trying to get the word out.
That is so cool.
It's like we're in a mystery school every single solitary day. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And from a learning perspective, you can't even put a price tag on it. It's priceless.
Every time someone comes on
Every
the show, I
time.
mean, like, you know, looking back at it, because you always think, okay, well, I think after interviewing that
I've
many
heard it
people,
all.
I've heard it all. I can see it all. And then you
You
meet
haven't.
someone that comes in and tells you what the real meaning of birth certificates are.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And that's, you see them. So it's so awe-inspiring. It
Mhm.
truly is, because you do realize that, hey, you know, everybody's got these incredible experiences that are unique to them, that they bring to the table, that they can share with us to help to, you know, do their part, as what we all are trying to do, to make the next person have a better existence. You know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what we're seeing happen a lot.
We are spiritually raw in
I
every
love
essence.
this.
We live the lifestyle.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
do.
live what we do.
Yeah.
We eat, breathe, sleep. Our entire lifestyle revolves around spiritually raw, the essence of spiritually raw.
I when I see a group of 1,400 or anytime you have a large group like that, and you see the diversity of points of view, and I'm curious, did you find that within that group, that are they all seekers?
I would say initially there was the teachers.
Okay.
Like when we first started the show, there were teachers, a lot of them coming across, and then I think now you have more seekers. I noticed, like, now
That's
when we
true.
first started it, the 10 years ago nearly now, Wayne, there was more teachers. Now so it is everybody seeking. You know, everybody seeking. You see everybody trying to find some answer to something, because I think there's a true, whatever you want to call it, great awakening of some sorts happening. You know.
You know what is so interesting? When we first launched the show 10 years ago, we were talking about historical facts. And we were talking about Armageddon and Revelation and this and that and all this stuff. But now in today's world, we're living in history.
Yes, we are.
We're reporting on the present.
We're recording on the present, where before we were recording on the future, or a phantom future, because no one knew, right? Or a prophecy. But now we're actually recording on current events that are happening as we're talking, which is really an extraordinary phenomenon.
Yes. Yeah. I'll tell you, that's what made the Sumerian culture so unique, was that they recognized their place in history. And that's why they started writing. And the way you just put that in context, April, is perfect, because we are living something. And, you know, you can say the familiarities between what we've read in books like the book of Revelation. We talked about this on y'all's show, dealing with prophecy. What is it? If prophecy is real, then it means that it's a predetermined destination. But then again, I see us as probably the most creative element in this sector of the galaxy. We actually manifest our futures.
Yeah.
And the question is, why is mankind now at this time, at this particular point in history, suddenly finding this? It's an interesting question.
It's mind-boggling.
Yes,
when
it
you think
is.
about it. It really is.
Yeah, it is interesting. And what's wild is energy. I think you just have more people, just so much more people, more than any other time, just thinking about, okay, they're all making this conscious shift together. May not all be in the same direction, but there's a conscious shift happening. You know?
So I keep in tune to a lot of the ministry, because I came out of the ministry. I was an ordained minister and knew all the national televangelists, and have eaten in their homes. So it's the Pew Research Group just came out, and for the first time that they've been keeping these type of polls, the American public, we are now at 40%, 46% are the only ones that now go to church. So for the first time in the modern era, we now have hit below 50%. And the rapid decline is even more. And look at it. We suddenly now have this rush of people coming in saying, all right, that isn't working for me. What is the truth?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Spiritually
really
Raw
high.
would be a place where I would go.
Thank you.
Hey, me too. That's so ironic.
You know, I'm just saying, because I like how you say it's ass whooping truth.
Yeah.
Now, having come through my father believed in brutality. But when I think about an ass whooping, I grew up in a state home, and I saw a lot of ass whooping. And I think on a spiritual side of that, that's not the expression is that it's going to challenge me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is.
Right.
And
That was exactly the point for it.
people
Yes.
also
Thank
try to
you.
get to the point, or we try to get to the point of where, so, regardless of your belief systems, there's a universal flow of energy. And regardless of where you think we're at, life can be pretty decent for you.
Mhm.
You can have a great life. You can choose to have a great life, but you got to flow in that energetic stream, right? And a lot of that's just really just kind of opening up and learning where to go. So these people that come on the show are helping teach us that, from different perspectives, how to get on that boat, how to build the boat, and, go on for the ride, because that's really what we're on.
You know what else is interesting too? When we first started the show, we had everything on, everything from every religion, from Satanism to Catholicism and gay Catholic priests. I mean, you
That's a
name it.
potpourri for sure.
Potpourri,
Yeah.
law of
Yeah.
attraction, the whole 9 yards. And you hear so much about the law of attraction, and then okay, you're living your life and you're doing well, and that's all fine and dandy. But you're like, how does this really work anyway? Like you were trying to figure it out, but you thought you figured it out, but it turns out you really didn't probably figure it out to the way that it's really
Like,
is.
how do you apply it, right?
Right. And
Yeah.
now in today's world, it's right. Before we were learning like the thesis of it, the theory of it.
Mm.
Now we're learning and actually doing the application of it. So from that perspective, that's really cool too, because you're seeing things from a whole different perspective. When now you're finding like, oh,
I know
that's
to
what
do.
everybody's been talking about.
It's like you have a
get it
playbook
now.
with you. You know what I mean? Like you have the actual playbook, the manual with you.
Yeah. And it's out there. It's just in different chapters.
Yeah.
Right.
And every person has a chapter, the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I've come to the realization though in rebuilding my core beliefs is that, and it's hard to accept this, but I had to accept the fact that I entered into this realm as a prisoner. I mean, my whole faith for 50 years was predicated on a slave mentality. Heaven and earth is a slave mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Heaven or hell, excuse me, because
Yeah.
it's either reward or punishment. And that's a slave mentality.
Yes.
And I used to say this, I was probably a mastered wizard at self-cursing myself by my words and my beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, and this turns into success. I worked, the latter part of my career was as a CEO. And you have to be able to be multitaskable in your thinking. You have to have it. For me, it's always compartmentalized. But what I began to see in people when I'd hire them is that I saw those who believed in themselves and those who were questioning why they were there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And the ones that were questioning, their resumes looked stellar, but they ended up being some of the worst employees.
Oh my God, I know. That is so
because
true.
it's the negative energy that pulls down. They're questioning everything. They'll be the ones who start the rumors, and start the gossip sessions, because where the other ones are more focused in on the success of goals.
Exactly. Yep.
So
yeah, water's going to seek its own level, right?
Always does. Always does. I taught sales for a number of years, and to large corporations. And the first thing I had to teach all account executives was the fact that people are not looking for reasons to be sold. What they're seeking is affirmation as to why they're buying.
Yeah.
And that goes for us spiritually as well.
Exactly. You know what Jay always says too? No one ever wants to be sold, but everybody wants to buy.
See? I love this. And this is, now, are y'all still doing your consulting work?
No,
this is
shows,
literally taken.
Just that now the spiritually raw is the whole thing.
Yes, this is it.
It's the thing. It's the thing.
It's a thing.
It's a privilege. It's a blessing.
It's a pleasure. I wouldn't want to do anything else right now.
To get to communicate with people like this and be able to get to talk with amazing minds like yourself for a living. Get to really just be a part of engaging in this just constant communication. It's the best therapy in the world, Wayne. There's nothing like it. There is nothing like it.
And it keeps your brain fresh.
Yeah.
Because, when you're doing the same thing over and over, like insurance, you're doing the same thing over and over and over, your brain starts to feel like it's going a little bit south, So this is good because it's just like constant fresh energy, and it's rejuvenating your brain, it's rejuvenating your cells, and you're feeling like alert and you're feeling energized.
Yeah.
And it gives you just a great zest for life. Like
it does. It makes you feel alive.
Yeah. I don't even remember back then. Like back then it was totally fun. It was awesome. I loved it. But I don't remember having this zest that we have now, and I think, when I think about it too, that could go back to also before we were reporting on history. Now we're actually living and creating history.
Well,
so it's a different.
Yeah. And then that we were coming out of a very ego-based business.
Oh yeah.
So we kind of like coming into a show, we knew it all. We got this.
We got this.
We got this. No worries. You got to take care of. You know what I mean? No worries.
So the old proverb is true: pride goeth before the fall, right?
Yeah. Let me tell you, we had to delete our first shows too. I remember calling the networks and saying, "Oh, can you please take that down? I don't want to ever, no memory of that ever. It was horrible." And we walked into this. We walked into it like, "Oh, we got it. No problem."
It's gonna be a walk in the park.
Like, who can't do this, right? It's the worst.
Sure. It's like the talent directing,
Right away, yeah.
It's like, well, all right, no problem.
Yeah.
And I look at my life, and it has been, and it still is, just a fantastic adventure. But I'm glad there wasn't the internet, because in my youth, holy crap, I mean, that would really be something going, I don't believe I did that,
Yeah.
But we didn't have that.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? That's just the problem. We're not,
Right.
By the way, when you talk about the internet, you do know where it started from. And if you look at names and meanings, it first was the ARPANET, the Archon. Then it migrated to the Ethernet.
Oh, right.
When the Ethernet opened, then it allowed for the internet.
We're all getting caught in the net.
Exactly. Thank you. It has captured mankind without so much as a whimper.
That's something.
And that's true.
It's very true.
A big
So
spider
it's
web.
almost like we're not victims, we're willing participants.
Oh, we come, you don't have to fire anything. We're running, it's like we're going right to you. It's like, oh, yeah. And it's true. I mean, Lynn and I, my wife, were talking last night that there was an article that says that they've now measured, because of the effects of this pandemic, what it's done to particularly the 8 through 12-year-olds, the separation that has happened, that there is actually a reduction in cognitive intelligence scores.
Oy.
Yeah, that's what exactly we said.
There's no critical thinking anymore.
Well, it's funny when you said that. I thought when you said the World Wide Web.
See it?
The whole
it's right there
world
before
got caught in the web.
Yeah. We were talking yesterday, there's a book out there called The Alien Interview, which is supposedly, have y'all read the book?
I've heard of it. No, I haven't read it.
Well, I did a number of videos on it, and Ariel, who was with the domain, had lost some of her shipmates in trying to rescue us. And as she said, this is a prison planet. If you're here as a prisoner. So as we were talking yesterday, we know at this particular time in history, our magnetosphere is weakening. The magnetic poles are now, North Pole is in Siberia, heading to where the South magnetic pole is now in the Indian Ocean. So this is weakening the magnetic field around our planet. Now, if we're here with a electromagnetic net that keeps us by our soul, well, when you lose the magnetic field, and there will be a brief period when that happens, maybe that's our moment for escape.
That's interesting. And when do you this brief?
It's happening now.
We're in the window,
aren't we? Now you're saying.
Oh,
right?
I mean, in fact, we now found out it's getting weird because, it's catastrophe is what it's going to bring. But the thing is that we're now finding our government purposely hid the data for 2017. And we're finding out now we had what they call a hyper jump. It meant that the magnetic North Pole and South Pole jumped a very large distance, and they're on the move. So if you think about the 12,000 year cycle, that our sun regularly micronovas, we are in what they call the galactic wave. This comes from the center of our galaxy. It comes through here every 12,000, 6,000 years. And when it does, it brings a lot of dust and debris into our solar system. And this is what we're seeing in our sun. So yeah, it to me, if you have a electromagnetic field and our brains are connected very much, if we have for instance, we're finding out now that when we have a geomagnetic storm and it hits 3, it can go all the way up to 9. Guess what they find out happens? People have heart attacks. And the other thing is it affects people who have dementia and Alzheimer's dramatically.
Oh, that makes sense.
We are electric beings. We're controlled. If you walk into a room that, for instance, has a high EMF, you're going to sense God because that's the part of our brain that activates the God part. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is.
I love the signs when you talk
I
about
can talk
that.
about that forever.
And you break it down better than anybody, I tell you. Really.
I'm like, yeah, I just listen and you go,
You
okay.
do a great job with that. I really do.
Yeah.
I know. So you said yesterday, he goes, boy, Wayne has this great knack for taking the most complex stuff and breaking it down to the ridiculous.
You do. You do.
So we all can understand it.
And I just compartmentalize, I wrote a design to complete payment system for churches. And I wrote the software, did all the diagrams, and that's when I began to realize is that that's how everything in life is. Everything is a data silo. The problem is most people don't realize that when you open up the silo, that needs to be shut, but people carry that on. So I want to get into the fact that you also have a CDC, not CDC.
We have no disease control.
No,
we're not in that business. Wayne.
CBD. Thank you. How did y'all get into that particular part?
We were life's, health, well-being, if you would. So we were always avid users of. We've always been pretty much pro holistic type of healthcare, if you would. So, so CBD, when we started hearing about it, April's taken it longer than I have, but the whole premise behind it is, getting rid of the, the things that come along, the anxiousness, the tensions, the things of having a very physical day, to get rid of all that. So we were taking it for a couple of years, and I always felt like on the edge. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I think something may be working, but I'm not totally sure. They're telling me I'm doing the right thing, so I'm not really sure. So it was always a day by day thing. So what happened is we found a company through a friend who gave us we tried the CBD because we were already big believers. So 2 things were there. One, we were using the product, so we believed that it would work. We just needed to find the right one. Number 2, we thought from a business perspective, we got to find a way to get in the CBD or the medical marijuana business right now.
It was always our agenda in the back of our mind.
So both things kind of lined up for us at that point, Wayne. So we tried the product and it was like, oh my gosh, it's like something lit up. It's like, quote unquote, oh my God. I like literally found out, like the feeling is like, we got to get on the air and let everybody know, hey, you can feel this good. You can feel tapped in, you can feel connected, you can get rid of all that stuff that you're doing there. And you can get rid of that. So we started doing that. And then it's almost like the business came a little bit after it, because it was just a passion of saying, oh my God, we found something. And we felt like, okay, we've got an obligation to share this.
Yeah, it was really more of an obligation.
We really came from that place of this is an obligation. We have to share this because people really, mind, body, spirit, can really get more connected really pretty fast. And there's natural ways of doing it. So that's
you get people like Ricky Fowler, professional golfer. Let's see, there was another guy that's on there as well. I use CBD. I have my own medical marijuana license here in Colorado, and I tell people this: it's far better than putting in artificial chemicals into your body that, and I suffered from fibromyalgia,
Mm.
and I know it works, and it works effectively. And I don't have to be
Yes.
on the pharmaceuticals.
Isn't that the best?
Exactly.
Isn't that the
We
best?
haven't taken any aspirin.
I was taking Advil,
or Advil,
4
Tylenol,
Advils
nothing.
for 3 years, every
long
day,
time.
Every day.
for 3 years.
Long,
And
too
so
long.
December 19th, I always say changed my life because that's when I remember trying it. And I don't know why I still remember the date for whatever reason. I don't remember stuff, but I do remember that was the date I tried it. And when 3 days after that, I haven't taken anything.
When we haven't.
Excellent.
Yeah, I haven't taken anything.
Haven't
It's
taken
the
one
best.
Advil, nothing.
And then they have a CBD melatonin, which we were sharing with people too, is because that is okay. So that's my, I'm not leaving home without this ever. You know what I mean? That's that thing that just stays in my pocket all the time, and I want to make sure I double up on it. It's that kind of sleep, Wayne, where you don't know that you fell asleep. You're just asleep, and then you wake back up. It's the best.
You don't feel groggy.
Yeah.
Well, because everybody pretty much knows if you don't get a good night's sleep, you're screwed. It messes up your whole entire system. And on the flip side, everybody knows when you get a good night's sleep, you wake up, you're like, oh, it's a wonderful day today.
Yeah.
Well, the melatonin, particularly, when I lived in Nashville, we produced a show called Eat, Drink, and Be Sexy. And it was 2 women who had found that when they had reached menopause, that the serotonin, melatonin levels had dropped. And as a result of that, so did their sex drive, their hormonal issues began. And they discovered, because they were holistic practitioners, that it was the melatonin and the serotonin that had dropped. And when they found out that they raised those levels, guess what?
Everything else raised.
You become sexy again. That's all.
You get your sexy on.
But listen, that's what as you get older, you always think, well, I want my body to repair itself cellularly. And that, unfortunately, most people don't realize you have to talk to your body, but pain becomes a more often occurrence as you get older.
Yes,
It's
it does.
Just the way it is.
It's just the way it is.
Especially
you
if you
feel
spend
things.
a lot of your life working out, running,
Yeah.
exercising. I
was a runner. I was a runner for decades. You know what I did? I ended up blowing both my knees out.
Well, it's as good as it makes you feel. It causes absolute havoc in your body.
Running.
Yeah.
I was addicted to it. I mean,
it
we
is
are type
addicting.
two. Yeah, it's addicting,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
Yeah. When I got into mile 3 or 4, I hit that everyone knows that you get
The
that
high.
euphoric.
The runner's
Yeah.
high,
Yeah. And I miss it. I have to tell you, I really do miss it, and,
Oh yeah.
but getting back to the fact that there is this alternative natural substance that is not illegal. It is, in fact, legal in all 50 states, I believe. Is that correct? I think it is.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's an opportunity for those of people that are looking for it. Now, you have a program that people can sign up for, right? And they will begin to, because I know I signed up on it. And I haven't done anything, and I've got 27 people now that have signed up. Yeah. I'm like,
That's
so
awesome.
it's Hempworx. They go to hempworx.com, and then our name, Spiritually Raw, hempworx.com /spiritually raw. And then they can go in there, they can take the tour, they can look at it as a customer, they can look at it as saying, hey, maybe we got a network and we want to do it as a business like these people are doing. And so there's different ways of looking at it. What they're going to do though is they're going to find out the difference, go through it. See if it can do. The way I tell people is that see and look at it. You'll get your vibe. See if it'll do the same thing for you that it has done for us.
We've had miraculous.
We've had
not only
miraculous-
us having miraculous.
You get video testimonials.
They're on
from
our
people.
channel.
They're on our channel. We
have
put
a
them up there.
testimonial.
Yeah.
our doctors are
please.
now, are on board. It's, when you start seeing mainstream, medical doctors becoming and saying this is a viable alternative to the pharmaceuticals. And guess who's the number one investor now in the industry? The
Who's that?
pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because if anybody's looking at this from the business perspective side of things, I mean, health and financial businesses, I think, will stand the test of time.
They always do.
They always do. So why not, if you're thinking about that, I mean, it's like the marketing's already done for you, the brand awareness. you know what I mean, or
Yeah,
product
we're I
awareness.
think in a,
All we're doing is this point in time is literally saying, hey, this is the product that we have found to be effective, that everybody's already pretty much very well aware of, you know.
Yeah.
And that's it. Then people just make their choice from
And
there.
you know, and everyone has a free choice of how they do their health. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Mhm.
just, you know, it's, you know, whatever you do. And I'm not advocating one way or the other. What I am saying is that I am a user of the product, and, you know, I'm going to start buying you because I won't be going to my dispensary anymore. Like, but it's cool. So yeah, I think it's a great alternative. Listen, they wanted to put me on Lyrica.
Wow.
And
Oh.
I mean, anyone who does any research on that drug,
Mm.
all I have to say is run, Forrest, run, you know, because
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's just bad news. And
And
listen, we live,
all the
go ahead.
pharmaceuticals, I know, I'm
Oh,
sorry. There's not one that's
So
not going to
toxic.
have some type of serious side effect.
yeah, yeah.
And it's-
And again, before the virus thing came through, they would have an annual convention here in Denver. And it was amazing to see over the years how the industry began to grow because, you know, I've been into it for a long time. It's an excellent investment. That's all I can say is an
Mhm.
excellent
Oh
investment.
yeah.
yeah.
And that's, I'm not giving financial advice, but I'm just telling you, yeah, you'll get high on the returns.
Exactly. That's for sure. And the great thing now is I think the world is at a place where it's over the hump of, oh, does this stuff really work?
Yeah, yeah,
And now
yeah,
they're like, they can't deny that it works.
Now it's just a matter of picking your brand.
Yeah.
It
yeah,
really
yeah.
is. That's really what
Yeah.
it is. So
Mhm.
they've done an excellent job of creating the awareness of it. The awareness
Mhm.
campaign. It's been, and it's been amazing.
Well, you figure it must be good for you because the powers that used to be that aren't anymore don't want you to have it.
It's
That they
amazing on
blocked it.
the stories
So-
here in America. I mean, if it wasn't, for instance, the Prohibition period, Prohibition actually rebirthed, you know, Reefer Madness.
Yeah,
And, you know,
exactly.
yeah, the speakeasy, the blues singers, they were all, you know, partaking of the herb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it goes back a long ways. I mean, hemp is thousands and thousands of years old.
It's beautiful. It's God's plan, or whatever you
Yeah,
believe in's plan. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Mm-hmm.
I
The
love it.
universe's plan. It's just right
Yeah.
there.
You
Nope,
can't
just-
tell me those Egyptians
that.
didn't go, well, look at that pretty leaf.
Right.
Now forget the leaf. We just want the stem. No, I don't think so. I think that's where they came up with some of their magic, just to be
Oh,
candid with you.
absolutely. Because
yeah.
it
Yeah.
expands your consciousness. You know, not only
There's a whole area that I'm looking into now in the area of marijuana and magic. Because the tetrahydrochloride, the THC, is the one that directly opens up the channel to what they call the God channel, the spiritual aspect of our thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
you know, just saying.
Just saying.
Well, you know,
just saying.
it's
Just saying.
yeah.
saying.
Well, there is a lot of validity to that because,
Yeah.
like Jay said, we'd been on CBD, especially me, for years. From running, I had foot issues, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it got to a point that it just stopped working. But when we were on it, which is why we switched, because like I don't know if I'd built up a tolerance or the brand that we were using was being diluted.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked from the pain aspect for a long time. But when we switched over to the Hempworx, something very miraculous happened. That no CBD that I'd ever taken. I've experimented with every brand of CBD known to mankind. Never had this kind of experience. And it was fast. And it was like
Wow.
that portal,
it opened it up.
the consciousness. It just, not only did it help with the aches and the pains, but it took away from, and then the other CBD never did this. Like, you know, you're just driving or you're going through your day. And next thing you know, you start thinking about somebody that pisses you off. And then
Just watching the news does that.
exactly.
For
And then
sure.
that thought manifests into, you know what, I think I'm going to revenge or whatever starts. And then your mind goes down this whole path, right?
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's like shifts your entire energy. But this CBD, because of the purity of it and the way that they harvest it, and it is all organic, it
That's something you have to really
removes.
watch out for too.
Removes all of that.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
you
yeah,
don't,
it removes
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
Devil, like I'm gonna play with your head. I'm gonna trip you out right
it's-
now.
like you
I'm
don't,
gonna take you down a path, and you're not gonna like it.
you don't. It's wild because we,
It removes all that.
I think I go to bed at night and I think about it. I'm like, because every day is just it's very, we got to, with the show and with the business and everything, it's a busy schedule every day.
Mhm.
And I think about it, I was like, when I wind down, I'm like, I always feel very grateful because I don't feel like fried at
Yeah.
all. Like I don't
Mhm.
feel fried. Like, oh man, I just got to lay. I none of that feeling at all. All I think about is like, that is just absolutely incredible.
What we
I
got
was
done
able
today.
to sustain at that pace today.
Mhm.
I'm shocked a lot of times. I'm like, I cannot believe we're
The
sustaining
energy
it.
level.
The energy level,
Yes.
and it's not like a high or
But it's
low
a
either.
level
It's a very
energy.
level. It's like it's like you hit your cruising altitude and you're like trays up and you're seats upright, right? And so, but it's amazing just to go to bed and be like, I'm not feeling fried. Time to turn it off, switch off, and boom, and start it over again. You're good, and you feel very connected in
And
that
clear-minded.
the ideas, Wayne.
Yeah.
And then, but not only just the ideas, what I talk about is the playbook that comes along with it. So it's not just a
Mhm.
great idea, but here's how you implement it.
Mhm.
That
I
is
love
just,
this.
that in itself is just wow,
I use this app, and I'm going to your place to look at this as well. Is that
Thank you.
plantar fasciitis was,
Yes.
oh man. And I started using a salve that helped that,
Mhm.
because and you find these little things that you're going, well, I don't have to do that
I
anymore. I
bought
hate
every
drugs.
foot
Every
remedy
lotion, potion, and shake.
that
Yeah.
that
Yep.
that man ever created. I've owned it.
Yeah.
I've tried it. I've tested it. I've had surgery from years of wearing very high heels and running.
See, I
and
don't know how
nothing's-
you women do that.
Oh yeah, they
I
were
go to
5
conventions
inches
and I see y'all wearing those heels, and I'm going,
all day long.
we're
You
a
know,
sick
Wade,
society.
if you
All
look
day
at my
long.
videos, and people can go to the channel, but if you look at our videos maybe a month and a half ago,
We look different.
well, not only that, but look at my hair.
Yeah,
I
Jay's
didn't
hair is
have
growing
any.
back. Mhm.
You know
So
what I
you're
mean?
regrowing hair. I love
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
It's wild. I don't know what it is I don't know exactly what it is, but
You can
but if
clearly see
you
it
look
in the
about a
Would you
month and a
say
half,
your stress level is
everything.
Yes.
Oh God,
Yes.
yeah. Like those things that used to agitate me, irritate me,
Yeah.
they're not even there really. I mean,
At
and
all.
it seems like they go more and more away every day.
Mhm.
Like I don't, things that normally you're just like, look, I mean, we're a married couple. I mean, we're in business together. We're in an environment all day long. I
should be
mean, we're
killing each other.
by all
I should hate
rights,
you.
we should be hanging each other or putting each other under a car or something like that. But something like that should be a normal, right? But it doesn't seem to be,
I remember the saying, the two shall become one, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'm going, yeah, well, it's true. I mean, I used to be a very on edge person. I mean, because the pain, it was just,
Oh God, yeah.
yeah, and it just sucked. And
Mhm.
it affects your personality. It
It does.
affects your decisions.
100%. It does. It affects
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
part of your life, and it does makes you angry, makes you miserable, and you feel like you're aged so much because you couldn't do the things that you used to be able to do. And now all of a sudden we're running longer, we're running faster, we have more energy. Our age is actually digressing. We're going back.
Yes.
We're growing younger.
I believe that. I believe
look at the
cell
videos. You can see
regeneration.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, cells
it's wild.
regeneration.
It's wild. I'm looking at the
Exactly.
videos because
The videos don't lie.
the videos. I'm like, holy. I'm like, we're talking. I'm like, holy crap. I said, this was us like 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah. But it's not just us.
But yeah,
All of the broadcasters on the super channels, they are all Hempworx distributors as well. And if you go back and you look at their videos
oh
from
yeah. Look
a
at all of
month or
us.
two, they look totally different. It's really
Now, can
wild.
people who are out of the United States, can they still?
Yes. So what happens is
Except
each
for Canada.
each Canada seems to have gotten the short end for right now as one of them. But pretty much what happens is when they go to the site, it'll give them the country and they click on the country and it'll let
Okay.
them know what
Let them
that
know.
country's allowed, because
Cool.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it'll let them know at
Now,
that point.
now Canada though, which is so bizarre because
They legalized
They
medical
legalized
That's what I was going to
cannabis.
say. They legalized it.
But
Right.
I don't know.
They
I
will
think I don't
not.
know. Maybe
But
I
and
don't know.
here's
Who
even
knows
the
why.
most wacky thing is they don't allow the tincture. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Is that what
Tincture.
Yeah, it's tincture. Yeah.
tincture? Thank
Yeah, I
you.
got some right here.
Oh yeah, and there you go. And
Yeah.
they won't allow that, but they do allow the spray. So they have it in the spray form. So go figure that one. What's the logic there? Who knows? But they're working on
I
it.
don't know.
There is no logic.
There is no
No
logic. It's
logic
just,
at
it's
all.
real.
The
It's just-
logic is there is none.
Exactly. And you can smoke till the cows come home, but you can't put this little dropper in.
Yeah. I mean, go figure that out.
Mm.
I still got to say, we have to all be thankful for Woodstock. I mean,
yeah, right.
Definitely.
I love to see where things are at because, I grew up in Texas where, if they found a seed, that was 6 months in jail.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
harsh.
It is harsh. I have a
Yeah.
friend that went to prison for literally a roach. I mean, was,
Wow.
That's awful.
harsh.
And,
Yeah,
and they let murderers and rapists
yeah, yeah.
and pedophiles roam around and live next door to you, but they're going to throw you in jail over something like that is
Yeah.
awful. Then, which just goes back to exactly what we were saying, because it's good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
They
yeah.
will ban or do anything they could possibly do to keep it away from you because it's good for you and they know it.
Well, it's because the pharmaceutical companies couldn't figure
the
out how to make a
world.
buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now in Colorado, what they did here is that the marijuana industry adds, I think it's $2.5 to $3 billion to our state economy.
That's
I
great.
bet it would.
Yeah,
you would
it's,
think it would.
Yeah, well, it does.
Yeah.
And Kansas still hasn't legalized it, Nebraska, and so they come over here in Colorado, and yeah, it's so archaic. It really is. Yeah. Well, this has been fun.
It
has
has
been.
been. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Yeah,
So
thank you very much.
I love this, folks. I left their link to their YouTube channel. Go over there and subscribe. These are delightful people, and they're enlightened. And you know what I really appreciate the vibe that you two give off is success.
Oh, thank you.
It's a positive energy that you don't have to be down. You don't have to accept your current circumstances. And when you have a resource like this team, that this is what they do, I mean, why wouldn't you want to be associated with that?
No, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate
I'm
that.
just
very
simply
much.
saying it's because you know what? As Richard Nixon says, I've been rich and I've been poor. Rich is better.
No question.
Love makes the world go around, but it's the cash that buys the first class ticket. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
It's true. I know that, and it's
That's
not
awesome.
about materialism. It isn't. I mean,
Right.
it's
about just being happy and prospering and sharing
yeah.
it.
What's wrong
Yeah.
with prosperity?
It's a word in the Bible. Prosper,
It is
profit
Yes.
is a word in the Bible, right?
Yes. And I'd rather have more than enough than not enough.
Yeah.
I've been there. Y'all
Mhm.
have too.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
sucks. And when you live in a system that is debt orientated,
Mm-hmm.
and then suddenly when the flow stops and the debt doesn't, you're going, well, this is when and for myself, it's when you get motivated.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm actually so glad. Thank you for bringing that up because that's another reason with the super channels and also the Hempworx as well. Similarly, it could take, we could teach anyone how to become a broadcaster and you already have a built-in YouTube channel. And similarly, we can show anyone how to offer the Hempworx because they're not selling, they're just sharing their experiences. And people buy it from, hey, how'd it work for you? That's,
pretty
that's
much
how
it.
it
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
around. But the whole thing of it is prosper and prosperity and money and making money and being rich are naughty words, dirty words. People have this fear of money. They have a very negative connotation that if you talk about that, you're egotistical, that you're only in it for yourself, that, it's all about you, right?
But it is.
Well, yeah, yes, absolutely.
I mean, in the end, it really is. Let's be
right.
honest.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
Right. And that's the whole mentality that we're trying to break. It's okay for you to say, I want to be rich. It's okay for you to say that I want to prosper.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to say, I want a 5-carat diamond ring or whatever it is that you want, right?
Your Bentley, your condo.
Yeah,
We actually, one of our super
absolutely.
channels
It's okay
is literally,
to say that.
one of our super
It's
channels
not a bad word.
is called the Prosperity Super Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be specific to prosperity mindset
Mhm.
and just really getting people to that space of like, like you're saying, it's okay.
okay.
It's good. It's good that you embrace this. It's really good
Mhm.
that you do this. It's a good thing.
So, you know where my training ground was at? I told you that I started years and years out with Earl Nightingale. But my experience in the Christianity was the prosperity movement. I know about prosperity. I know about it, and I know what it's required to attract it, how to become associated with it. And more importantly, most people don't realize, but they rebuff prosperity subconsciously. They
Yes.
send out a negative signal that when prosperity comes through, and it's always coming through, it will literally bypass that circuit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
lose that energy.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's like we know that we can go along for the ride. We know that we can harness the energy, and that's it. And I think we do it all together. It's going to go a lot quicker for everybody. Everybody's better off for it.
And you know what else too? They've done I was going to say a miraculous job of creating this lie that being broken in debt actually is okay. It's okay to not want to prosper. It's okay to be second best. It's okay to just get by. It's okay to barely be above poverty.
God will give you what they want.
That's
God will give you what you want when you
okay.
need
That's
it,
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
God will provide when you need it, my dear.
I tell you, get better results buying a lottery ticket.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's just my theory on prayer. I mean,
Yeah.
I talk to the Creator all the time. It's a constant conversation. But I learned something a long time ago. I can give a person $100 that would meet a need, but that need's going to come back. If I can teach that person how to manifest that $100, they'll never have another need at all.
Yeah, that's so true.
There you go.
And that's what it is
Yeah.
right now. And I
Yeah.
think it's a good time for people. I think
Yeah.
more people are really watching and realizing it's time now. It's time.
Mhm.
They're seeing things happen. They're seeing their ways of believing before, or hey, what's that? Why is that not working out anymore? You know what I mean? So they're really seeing a lot of these things that are flying in the face of reason for them. So it's time.
It
It's
is.
time.
And there's so many people that I see that you just loved. It sometimes grieves me that, you want to go out there and bless them. But I have learned the hard way that's the worst thing I can do.
Yeah.
Mm.
They're the best way I can do is to teach them how to get that without ever needing that.
Absolutely.
And y'all are the great teachers on that. I mean, you do this as a passion. So I say,
Thank you.
excellent.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Wayne.
sign up over there. Get over there, folks. I mean, this is an opportunity, and but you can choose your path, whatever you want. I mean,
Mhm.
if you like the minimum, then that's cool too. I mean, yeah.
We got a email, if I can just shoot it out, Wayne, to
Yes,
your audience, if you don't mind. It's if they have any questions related to what we're talking about, it's askspirituallyraw@gmail.com.
Okay.
And all of our links are always
Yeah.
in all of our
Yeah.
YouTube show descriptions.
Okay. Well, I've left the chat, but I'll make sure to put the email ask@spiritualraw.com.
Askspirituallyraw@gmail.com.
Oh, okay. There we go. I got you. I had it
Yeah.
a little bit backwards. Okay. I'll do that. All right. Well,
Thank you, my
folks,
friend. Thank you
this
for having
is-
us in your home.
this has been fun. Y'all
Yeah.
come back to my house anytime. It's a good
Aw,
place,
thank
I
you.
like this. It's been wonderful. I want to have y'all back on.
Likewise.
I love this, and this is an expansion of, I think, this community, and I think it offers tremendous new opportunities. And folks, here it is. Here's a chance to grow. What's I
Mhm.
got to say? Take
Thank you.
advantage of it.
Thank you, my
All
brother.
right,
you
you
so
two,
much.
we thank you so much. Everyone, thank you. All the moderators, everyone in the chat room, thank you all. And I just speak prosperity over you. I speak favor over you every day. And remember, favor means empowered to prosper. That's what favor is defined as. So when you speak favor, when I'm speaking favor, what I'm saying is that you are empowered to prosper. So, all right, folks, thank you, April and Jay. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
We'll see you tomorrow, and be good to yourselves.